You've heard the term meat in due season, and considering the season, I thought that it would be appropriate that the sermonette today would be entitled Satan's Unholy Days. Satan is well aware of the meaning of God's holy days, and Satan has created imitations that will mock God's holy days. Satan's imitations are always on different dates than the real holy days, and they're made to be party days so that people want to keep them. The objective is to provide an imitation as well as a diversion so the real holy days are replaced and not kept. So I want to go through the 4 characteristics, and the characteristics actually carry through these unholy days because they're the way that Satan works. The first one, specifically for the holy days, is that they'll be on a different date. The second one, I think, is actually the most important because Satan is mocking the meaning of the holy days. And you will see that, and especially if you think about it, Satan's technique is to mock God's truth. And we'll cover a little bit more about that later. The other characteristic, third characteristic, is there are party days. They're celebrations, good times. People like parties. And if it was not a happy time, people wouldn't keep it. And very often, there is also a religious component, so that people who really are sincere will feel that they're doing the right thing, that they're being righteous, even though they aren't. So let's take a look at 3 of Satan's unholy days. The first one mocks the Feast of Trumpets. God's Feast of Trumpets represents the second coming of Jesus and the resurrection of the saints. It occurs in September or early October. Now, the imitation is Halloween. First characteristic, a different date. Halloween is October 31st. The feast never lies on October 31st. It mocks the Feast of Trumpets. Feast of Trumpets is when the saints are resurrected to spiritual life. So there is life. There's a resurrection of people, but they are ghosts, ghouls, and zombies, mocking the saints. And that's how Satan makes fun of the saints, by representing them as zombies and also mocking the holy day. And third point that I had mentioned, parties. Well, Halloween parties are very popular. People like to dress up in costumes, and even adults will be keeping Halloween and dressing up in costumes, and go to restaurants, they're dressed up in costumes. So it's fun for all, and people don't realize what it represents. And finally, the religious meaning behind Halloween, the cover-up or alternative or irreligious region, is that it used to be called All Saints' Day. And of course, the saints are ghouls, zombies, ghosts. Let's take a look at the second unholy day that we've just had it, that Satan mocks. And the day that Satan mocks, the holy day, is the Feast of Tabernacles. And that's contrasted with Christmas. The time from the beginning, the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles, to the last great day is 8 days. If you count from Christmas, beginning December 25th as day 1 to January 1st, 8 days. Same length, same holiday period. Now, in the Feast of Tabernacles, that represents the beginning of the millennium. So in the beginning of the millennium, Jesus Christ is now King of Kings, Lord of the entire earth. Satan has been put away. Any rebellion has been put away. Jesus is strong. Let's keep that in mind. Well, first off, using those 4 points that I listed before, different date. Christmas is held in winter when there is no harvest and the weather is bleak. Feast of Tabernacles begins when the harvest comes in and everything is colorful with the color in the leaves. Christmas mocks the Feast of Tabernacles by portraying Jesus as a weak and helpless baby. And all newborn babies are weak and helpless. But in reality, the real holiday, the Feast of Tabernacles, as I mentioned, Jesus is Lord of Lords and King of Kings. So he's got real power. And he's exercising that power as opposed to in Christmas where he's helpless. I mentioned the party aspect, and certainly Christmas has family get-togethers, but take a look at some of the music and also how the music changes over generations. And there's a different emphasis on that music. For instance, the song Silent Night was once very big, and those of us who are older remember Silent Night is always being played at Christmas time. It was actually a religious song. Well, that was replaced by White Christmas. Bing Crosby in the late 40s came out with that one. All right, now Christ has kind of disappeared in White Christmas. Christmas is a holiday that stands on its own. But even that became dated. And for those of you who might be familiar with the newer versions of Christmas songs, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, which, by the way, has an excellent show, they have remade the Christmas songs for people who are in their teens and 20s and 30s. And so Satan is always modernizing the music as time goes on and making it less and less religious, more and more secular. Now, the religious connotations of Christmas are obvious. It celebrates Jesus' birth on a day he wasn't born and when he was helpless. So there are religious overtones, but even that, you see, has actually diminished over time. I remember when I was a child, my parents would take me to Staten Island, and we would go look at the houses to see the Christmas lights, because I'm first generation Christian. I was born into the Armenian Evangelical Church, which is a Protestant church. So we kept Christmas, and we would look at all the lights, and a large number of those Christmas lights in front of houses were nativity scenes. Now you rarely see a nativity scene, and if you do, the paint is usually peeling off. You'll see more reference to Santa Claus than you will to Jesus Christ, which is supposedly Jesus' birthday, even though it isn't. It's kind of ironic that the baby Jesus, who is the weak as opposed to the strong ruler Jesus, has now been replaced by Santa Claus, Saint Nick. And the Nicolaitans are mentioned in the book of Revelation. The third of Satan's unholy days mocks the last great day. And that unholy day begins pretty much at sunset tonight on New Year's Eve. The last great day is the 8th day after the beginning of the Feast of Tabernacles. New Year's Day is the 8th day after Christmas. Now, the last great day is a day when all who have died and not been called will be resurrected to life. It will be a very happy day because people will see their relatives that they've missed. Everyone will be given their chance. So it's a time of great hope for all of humanity. Now, take a look at New Year's Day. All right, it's obviously a different date than the last great day. The last great day, trees are in bloom, in color, and everything is beautiful. In New Year's Day, everything is bleak. Everything is cold. Everything is dead because it's the dead of winter. And that's what Satan wants, everyone to be dead. New Year's parties usually begins after sunset on December 31st, and in God's holy day scheme, sunset is when the new day begins, which would be the beginning of Satan's unholy day. It mocks God's holy day because in Satan's holy day, the earth is dead. Everyone is inside and huddling or drunk and getting a hangover and getting over it. And in God's holy day, everyone is alive and together and families are reunited. New Year's Day is a party time. As I mentioned, that's one of the other characteristics. The third characteristic is a party time, and people love parties, so people keep that day. Now, question arises, speaking of making your own holy days, what about Thanksgiving? Pagans typically had feast days for their gods, and they would be maintained by rich individuals in each town who would have these big feasts on a memorial day for their god. But can Christians make up their own holiday to give thanks? And the answer is in both the Old and New Testaments. And the answer is a resounding yes. You can make up days to thank God. Now, there are not holy days, but in the two I'm going to mention, they are biblical days. And the first is an entire book is dedicated to the Jews making up a holiday to celebrate God's deliverance. And that's the book of Esther, and the holiday is Purim. Now, Purim is not one of God's holy days, but it is a biblical holiday, and there's an entire book of the Bible that explains it, and it wouldn't be there if it wasn't allowed. And in the New Testament, we see that Jesus is in the temple during the Feast of Dedication, which is Hanukkah. And so it was obviously all right. Now, the purpose of Hanukkah was to thank God for their deliverance from the Seleucid Empire. And so it was certainly all right. And so Thanksgiving is certainly all right as long as we use it as thanks to God for all that he has given to us. But it's not a holy day. The point in all of this is we learn from Satan's unholy days how he thinks and how he operates. He will be always trying to mock God. So God has created the family. Satan mocks the family now. You see that mocking in what's happened to our society. People like parties, so we make sure that there are celebrations. And when you see things like that happening, then you know who is behind it, because that is the way that Satan works. And we learn that from the way that he has maintained his own unholy days. Now, our society has accepted Satan's unholy days, and they mock God's holy days. The unholy days are turned into party days. They provide a false religious substitute, and we must not celebrate these unholy days. But it is fine to make special days where we do thank God for delivering us and helping us through our own trials and problems, and for the blessings he gives us.